Another kind of mission. I've been watching The Dead, an American horror show. It takes place in an asylum. There's a Nazi doctor and some kind of aliens that keep showing up as a bright light. And I'm thinking of bright lights. I came to bright lights from Northern Ireland, and I landed in Vegas, the origin of bright lights. That surface excitement of American culture with cheap steaks and eggs and the old playing slots forever. I was taken to a summer camp, age 12. I was a Boy Scout, and it was a week long. I lost my shoe in a cold creek and walked around with one shoe for 3 days. When I returned to the bright lights of Vegas, I was glad to be back. I've heard of the bright lights that people see when they're dying, and I can imagine the bright lights as the light from the surgeon's table, but sometimes I want to imagine I'm heading there, to the light. With all the saints, with all the aliens, death is the big X. I was never good with the X in mathematical equations. I couldn't add anything up. My life is one big X. And sometimes that's okay, and sometimes I want it to add up. I made it add up to a mission age 19, a Mormon mission. I wanted to be a saint. I didn't listen to any music. What is my mission now here, in this flat in the Docklands of East London? The sun has returned to London. It is a rare sun. It is full of light. Outside my window, the sirens have gone quiet. I'm going to mop the floor and count my breaths. I don't believe in Buddha, but I believe in breath. We're all one big breath. I want to breathe better. I don't want to tie up my wealth with my life. My life? My life is in books. My life, your life. Whose life is this anyway? Sometimes form wants to get sleazy with content, and my name sounds like it might be sleaze. I want to be more than what can be squeezed into my Tupperware. I don't want to squeeze a lid on my life. The blue sky in London today is expansive. I don't speak British English anymore. I'm learning to become American, expansive. I'm learning to be okay with the light. I used to hide from the light. I wanted to be invisible. This is my wood shop. I'm looking for the grain as I'm working with and against it. It is my life, this wood. But that's wrong. I don't know what I'm making. It is messy. It is a lot like life. Maybe I don't have a grain, or it's invisible. I'm closing my eyes and watching the light flicker around behind my eyes. I want the aliens to come. Blue. Someone next to me on the train mumbled to herself for over an hour. Was she a saint? I'm thinking of my private spaces and my public spaces. Eileen Myles said life is a rehearsal for a poem, but what about a poem as a rehearsal for life? How many lives do I lead, and how can I love them all? Today we talked about pessimism and the Stoics, and I'm thinking of mental hygiene. The idea of waking up, expecting the worst, setting expectations low, and then being surprised when the train comes on time, or when I do not die a violent death. When I cross the street, I hold my breath, and then halfway across, I remember to breathe. I hear footsteps behind me all the time. I think someone is following me, but I do like high heels. Everything called happiness is a bonus, not an expectation. How many expectations do I have, and can I count them? What can I count on? I can count on my fingers to 10. At 10, I was living in Milton Keynes, and 1 year later, I was moving to America. I had a mixed accent, Northern Irish and a working-class British one. My stepfather drove trains on the Metropolitan line in London. We watched The Saint. We watched Play Your Cards Right on Friday nights. We landed in Vegas. I got an American accent. I keep landing in Vegas. I build up more and more private spaces when I leave my public spaces. In America, I wash my hands 666 times a day. I could never get clean enough. I could never be a saint. Writing is a kind activity. It expands. Yesterday, I watched a hypnotist on YouTube tricking people into taking blank pieces of paper for money. Is it a trick? It seems like reality. I'm trying to trick myself into thinking I don't have a form. I'm a formless form. I'm trying to trick myself into thinking I'm not writing a poem. I've read too many poems and I don't like them. What is a poem? I am pessimistic about poems. If a poem happens in my life, it is a bonus. Is it happiness? Is it a gift? I don't believe in the romantic genius. Everything is an artifice, except silence. My private self is a monster and my public self is a saint, or vice versa. I'm becoming more mindful. I don't know what it is. Blue is the warmest color. Transitions. I flirted with cocksucking to become part of the avant-garde. What now? This is the news. It is 5 a.m. My job has been taking up too much of my life. I want to be part of Sister Spit, a punk rock saint by proxy. My dominant traits are womanly. First you write the transitions, then you go on your nerve. That's how Eileen does it, or something like that. I'm telling my students they need transitions between their paragraphs. Essays have manual transmissions. The same foot for gas, the same foot for shifting. What is a paragraph? It is chunking. I like chunking. Chunky ice cream, anything with chunks over the creamy or watery, a bit of earth beneath my feet, grounded. This is not a paragraph, but it could be. Where's the topic sentence? It is buried and a little bit blurred. It's coming soon. The topic sentence is cocksucking, but it is really chunks or transitions or transplanting. The transitions are grounded, but they want to take off. Get this. I'm sitting in the library reading the early poetry of Michelle T. They're collected in The Beautiful. The Beautiful is fucked up. It takes the pressure off, but it adds pressure too. Is there a particular American perfectionism? It's Puritan. It's optimistic too. Am I beautiful? Are you? Get this. I swallowed people's coughs on the way from the station. Now I have my own cough. It is everyone else's cough too. Words are charlatans. What is a charlatan? This is the news. I should be sleeping. It is 5:05. I should be making final exams, marking student papers, answering official emails. I'm offline, but I'm trying to get online. With my body, it just feels better, grounded. Soon I will be grounded to powder. The body makes choices all of its own. It's 5:08. I'm transplanted Irish with a North American accent. Freedom, expectations, how many ways can we count them? A truckload of Swedish students in fur coats show up at the university every day. I want to be a Swedish woman. What is experience? I'm going to Google it later. It is time for a cigarette. I'm going to plant something in my mouth. Honky Tonk Joe. You guys like Honky Tonk? Honky Tonk Joe. I have a stink bomb in my mouth. It smells like anxiety, and my exes smelled it all the time. They told me to go brush my teeth. I might brush my teeth after I fix up some coffee and have a joint. Kurt Cobain sung from the stomach, he said, and they found all sorts of things in his stomach. I'm listening to Wanda Jackson, hard-headed woman, and she is a saint. I'm not a hard-headed woman, but maybe I am. I am soft-bellied man. Nietzsche had stomach problems. He fell into some horses. That's not likely for me. There are no horses around here, but who knows how I'll go. The water is boiling now for the coffee. It is 4:47 p.m. My stomach needs a colon cleanser. Everything happens in the colon, says all my mom's books. I live in Poplar. The station is Westbury. The city is London. Let's have a party, says Wanda Jackson. I am Americana. It is the best place to be. I like the words cry and shame and set me free. I like the growl in a woman's voice and the whine in mine. My ancestors created honky tonk. I do not know them. I am Scottish from Northern Ireland with a North American accent. I have secret honky tonk fantasies. Who is Honky Tonk Joe? Does he do the bunny hop? Does he blow his top? Or does he bop? My stomach feels empty, even though it is full. Full of what? I don't know. I keep waking up too early. Is it possible to be too awake? There are many kinds of awake, and I want the right one. Darkness has fallen, the day is done, and now it is the night. My eye twitches back. I'm alive. Other people's pockets. Another cold, rainy day. These 3-hour daily commutes are getting to me. I listen to Brad Listy because he wants to get really open. The show is called Other People. I have all these manuscripts and I open them up and layer them. I want to be less like a saint and more like a cake. Poetry is love. It is full of cream. In a way, it's lust too, and that's okay. I doubt this whole thing constantly. Not this, but getting it out there. I want my poems to have a conversation, but with who? I get off my third train. To my left is Blossom Tattoo. It is across from Westbury, where I live, in the Docklands. Is the speech act a love act? I imagine I work there, at Blossoming Tattoo, giving people permanent ink stains of saints. I'm thinking of good intentions, a philosophical topic. In other words, show yourself. I want to write myself onto the bodies of the world, exploding for small change. What does it mean to be a subject? I think I'm a body, nobody, sometimes somebody. I walk down the narrow valley to my housing estate. I hear chimes from people's pockets. Other people's texts are going off. I'm less and less impressed with disembodied networking. Show me your face. I want to see mine too. Finally, another pocket poem. Pocket rubbings. My gums are bleeding. I have fear of falling teeth. A sane in Turkey yanked out my first adult tooth. It was cheaper than a root canal. It splintered and his hand was shaking. It took 45 minutes. Now I have a stress habit. When in stress, I stick my tongue in the hole. Last night in Wood Green, it was not tranquil. There was a war between Irish and Irish Americans in my head. My bags were packed. Teenagers were dancing and drinking. And I had a real fear I was not going to make it out. I took a walk in Ali Pali today, near Wood Green Station in North London. Dogs there too. Drank coffee near Duck Pond. Eva there too, first in queue. Not sure about this pen, must lean more lightly. Lust happy and love, 'tis Sunday afternoon. Eva's hand in my pocket rubbing. Thanks.